So in book one, Robin is trying to find herself because after the Magnolia Mall robbery, because she lost so much, because things are not the same. She doesn't have Dizzy. She still has City, but they don't go to the same school. She doesn't live in the same neighborhood as them no more because when she got in trouble, her parents sent her to live with her grandparents. Um and they sent her and Remy to private school while, her other brothers go to the public school. Her brother June gets kicked out of the house because he was the driver. So the dad kicked him out. Their dad kicked him out because you know better. You're in your early 20s. Why are you driving these kids to rob a mall? You don't got no sense. So he gets kicked out. He moves back to Atlanta with his mama. June and Robin has the same mother and father. Robin's dad married this woman named Giselle when after breaking up with his mama, which was um after she moved to Atlanta for college, they broke up. Um then he ends up cheating on his wife with Robin's mom. That's how he had Robin. Robin's mom basically abandoned her. So like she gave her to her dad and her stepmom to raise. Now, mind you, her stepmom was pregnant with Rilo, which is the third son, which is the third son on the daddy side. Robin is hello. June, Ryan, Rilo. Robin is number four. Yeah. Robin is in the middle. There's seven kids. Six boys and she's the only girl and she's the middle child. So her and Rilo are ghetto twins. Because like they're only born a couple of months apart. Rilo is older than her. And her and Rilo has like this rivalry or whatever. He doesn't like her because she kind of like gets a lot of the attention, and Rilo is an attention seeker. So like anybody getting his attention is somebody he don't like. So he don't like his own sister and also because his mom adopted her. Like so her stepmom adopted her because her biological mama gave her away and just like abandoned her. She doesn't know her, never saw her. If it wasn't for her stepmama showing her pictures of her, she wouldn't have even known who this lady was. And the only reason why her stepmama showed pictures because Robin looks completely different from her stepmother. Of course, in the black community when that happens, people makes it known. Even though it's wrong, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't look at a child and their mom and be like, this your child? Because they skin dark. Because Robin has dark skin and her stepmom has light skin. But y'all know in our community, that's how things are. You a light skinned woman, you have a dark skinned child, they questioning you. If you're a dark skinned woman and you have a light skinned child, they questioning you. So it was like that. So her stepmama didn't have a choice but to tell her the truth. Like, okay, I'm not your biological mother. Your biological mother is this lady. They were all friends. And she showed her pictures and so she could see who she looks like. She looks like her mom, of course. Her mom and her dad. Because her dad is dark skinned as well. But so in book one, Robin is trying to find herself again. She has given up. She's literally given up. Her dad, when they found out that she had kleptomania, he decided instead of demonizing her for having an illness that she cannot control, to teach her how to use it for good. Because stealing is not good. It don't matter how you present it, it ain't good. So he trains her to use it for good. She's also a genius, high IQ, smarter than everybody, on the level as adults, when it comes to intelligence. So it's another way to kind of give her a challenge, give her something to do to keep her out of trouble because she lives in a small town. The academics, the school system is not up to par with her, so she's bored, and he sees his daughter struggling, And so he realizes, I can't raise her how a normal father would raise his daughter. I have to raise her differently, because if I want to keep her out of trouble, I have to do things different. So that's what he does. He like presents her with these challenges that normal little girls would not be able to do, but she always rises to the occasion or whatever. And her relationship with her dad is kind of weird too, because she's not a normal kid, so he couldn't treat her normal, but she also doesn't understand either, why am I treated different, because she knows she's different, but it's like, why can't you still I can't still be treated the same way as normal kids. Like she realizes that she's treated differently, even different than her brothers. Like he trains her how to shoot, he trains her how to fight. He is always challenging her in different ways. He teaches her etiquette, how to present herself in certain environments, how to speak in certain environments, because y'all know we geeky over here in South Carolina, in the low country. We geeky, we country, the way that we talk or whatever. And sometimes people don't understand what we say. So he trains her how to speak properly and stuff like that, how to present herself in certain environments. And she doesn't get why he's doing it. It's like, why are you doing this? But because there's a secret that she doesn't know about, which comes out in book 3. There's a secret for why he's doing the things that he's doing. Part of the secret comes out in book 2, but in book 1, he sends her on this job, but doesn't tell her like why. But it kind of like is the catalyst to exposing the bigger secrets. So book 1 is basically her trying to find herself, like, who am I as a person? Why am I so special? Why am I so smart? Why am I a kleptomaniac? Why was I born like this? Like her just fighting her mind, basically telling her that she is different, and that she she's trying to decide, because of the Magnolia Mall robbery going wrong. She's trying to decide if she's going to bring her crew back together, because Dizzy is getting released in a couple of weeks in book 1. So she's trying to decide if she's going to get her crew back together and continue doing what they were doing, because but she has a lot of fear surrounding what happened, and not just what happened. She has fear surrounding what happened to Dizzy. Also, she has she has abandonment issues. When she got in trouble, her mom and dad kind of distanced themselves from her. Not necessarily because they were disappointed and, you're a problem, I don't want you around my other kids. But that's how she sees it. She sees it as them doing that. But it's really because the therapist told her dad that he was her trigger for like her kleptomania. And her mom, even though her mom like goes to visit her at her grandparents' house every weekend, she brings her little brother to see her, their relationship is not the same. So she feels abandoned by her parents. So she's dealing with that too. So it's like, what's wrong with me? Like, it's either people are saying that I'm special, but they don't want me around. Like, so what's wrong? Am I really special? Are the things that I do, is it okay? Like, is it okay for me to be a thief? Like, her daddy keeps telling her that it's a gift, but at the same time, you punished her for doing it. So it's confusing to her. She also doesn't process things the same. She's more so, like, especially emotions, as everybody else, because of how her brain works. So she's always overthinking everything, overanalyzing. Like, what does this mean? What does that mean? And a lot of things mean different things to her. She's neurodivergent, basically. She's not neurotypical. She's neurodivergent. So the way that she understands things is different than the average person. So even though the way that they treat her is not necessarily a reflection of who she is. She sees it that way, so she's battling internally about it. um and you have her community who's suffering. Like, they don't have money, people are not able to pay their bills, people are not able to keep their lights on, they're not able to keep food in their, like, they're not able to keep food in her house. And even her mom and dad ends up having financial problems because her dad used to be a drug dealer, but he stopped after she got in trouble because he got locked up. He came home before Robin started stealing at like the level that she started. He got released right before she started doing it. When she got in trouble and got, like, people got locked up behind what she did. So he's scared, like, dang, is this because of the example that I set for her? But instead of like talking to her about it, he pushes her away because he feels like he's the problem. He feels like he's not a good father. But at the same time, it's like, how else am I supposed to raise this little girl because she's different? What am I supposed to do? So it's just like everything is up in the air. Like, he doesn't really know how to be the father that she needs. She doesn't really know who she is and like why things are the way that they are. She has so many questions that are not being answered because, I mean, you're around a lot of people, they don't have the education about a lot of illnesses. And this also shines a light on behavioral disorders, because I feel like we focus a lot on mental illnesses, but behavioral disorders get ignored a lot of the times because we like to try and, when kids are bad, we call them bad, you're just bad or full of the devil, in the black community, instead of accepting the fact that this is because this is a behavioral disorder. Black people don't like to accept diagnosis when it really be the case. So like, that is also a underlying theme or whatever in the book. The way that we as a black community deal with disorders, things that we don't understand, we don't really know how to. There's no like rule books, there's no resources really for you to know. And if Robin didn't have an aunt who was a therapist, they still wouldn't have really known what was wrong with her. Like, they tested her a lot. They thought she was autistic at first, but they were never able to label what was wrong with her. So special is what they settle on. Like, that's the only thing you can say, she's special. Um, and she hates that word because she feels like it's used to control her a lot of the times. It's used to control her behavior and she doesn't like it. And it's also used to manipulate her to do certain things that kids should not be doing. So like, her daddy calls her special, her uncle calls her special when they want her to do stuff that she shouldn't be doing as a child. So so that word is a trigger for her as well. She hates it. But it's a lot. She's a little 15-year-old girl who is trying to figure herself out. She's having an identity crisis. She's dealing with like relationships, like her relationship with Dizzy, her relationship with City, her relationship with her parents, her relationship with her brothers, also even her grandma. Her grandma is raising her right now, but her grandma, she feels a lot of hate. She she processes how her grandma feels about her as hate, and like she's a burden rather than fear. Really, it's just fear. It's not hate. She doesn't hate her granddaughter. She's just afraid of what the trouble that she can get in. Because, like I said, there's a family secret that Robin doesn't know about. So she's dealing with these feelings that people are placing on her, and she doesn't know how to process her own feelings, let alone somebody else's feelings. So in book one, that's the dilemma, her trying to figure herself out, her trying to decide whether she's a good person. Am I a good person because I'm a thief, which is a bad thing, but I'm stealing to help my community? And at the end of book one, she has to make a decision for whether she's gonna walk in her purpose or is she gonna quit. Like, are you gonna walk in your purpose? Your purpose is to free your community from a lot of the things that are happening. Politicians making money off of them, off of the people, but they're not giving back. They're not helping people for real. So that is the theme of book one. Like